Why the era of cheap streaming is over.
Netflix was going up, and their most affordable tier would now have ads. Amazon Prime would be $3 Apple TV went from $6.99 to $9.99 to $18 a month.
So I'm going to pause real quick for everyone to say, huh, not me because I pirate. Yeah, okay, nice try Disney Plus. I'll just pirate. Streaming is so much more convenient than piracy. I used to pirate everything. Isn't that what you're paying for? Well, because you have the choice of stealing, that is sort of what you're paying for. But what they expect you to pay for is the content that they own. That's what you're paying for, is they spend all the hundreds of millions on the shows. What you are in effect paying for is the convenience, because you don't care that they own it. But that's not how they see it.
And they're all spread across so many different services.
Wait, tier list right now before I continue. All right, so Apple TV, where do I put it? I don't pay for it. My parents do. A. Actually, what do I watch on Apple TV? B, dude. What do I honestly watch on Apple TV? C. I liked The Problem, but then they fucking canceled it. Jon Stewart had a show where he it's almost John Oliver style. He explored one problem every week, and he was going to talk to the head of the FTC, Lena Khan, and he was going to talk, I think, about big corporate monopolies, and Apple canceled him. Apple cut the show rather than deal with the headache of him saying anything negative about China and then blow back on. Severance, I haven't watched. I like Ted Lasso. I haven't found there to be enough with Apple TV for me to, I don't even use it, and we have it for free from my parents. I'm gonna put it at B probably. CBS All Access. Fucking what? What's on this? I have no idea. I've never paid for it. I don't know who pays for it. Can't possibly be worth it. Disney minus. They cut it off, but man, I think it's generous to give them a B. I feel like they've fallen off. You know what I found out? Did you know that 30% of all the viewer minutes on Disney Plus are just families watching Bluey? This is not a joke. Disney Plus is actually the Bluey delivery service. It is essentially the Bluey network. That is baffling me. That blew my mind. The thing is, I fucked with The Mandalorian when it came out. I love Andor. The thing is, I love Andor. It's not out right now, but I'll give it a B just for Andor, dude. That show fucks with me. I like it. Hulu? Currently in my A tier, bro. Maybe S. Hulu is my S. I watch more Hulu than anything else. I watch Shogun on Hulu. I watch Always Sunny on Hulu. I watch some Futurama on Hulu. I haven't watched The Bear, but I heard it's good. I feel like Hulu fucks. There's a lot of shows I like that are on Hulu. I watch a show about heists. That's why I keep dropping all these heist knowledge things. I like Hulu. Fubo TV, D. It's going out of business. HBO Max. Dude, this should be S tier, but this is tough because if you've never watched HBO Max and you signed up right now, it's S tier because you have so many great things to do. But if you're caught up, what do they got? I think I put it A. House of the Dragon is good. I like it a lot, and that's still ongoing. So, okay, I gotta keep it. I loved Game of Thrones for the last 2 seasons. I love The Wire. I haven't watched all of The Sopranos, but I like it. I mean, there's obviously some good shit here. Netflix. Netflix is probably the ultimate slop of the streaming world, but it would be stupid of me not to put it at A. If we rated these by sales, it's the only S tier. Netflix is the only S tier in the streaming world. It is far and away ahead of its competitors and peers. They have the most consistent new stuff. It has to be A, at minimum. And realistically, it's probably S, but I'm kind of conflating whether this is my tier list or a tier list. Whether it's my personal, and I'm doing my personal, and so I'm putting it at A. Peacock. Should be a D, I give it a C, because I like the show Poker Face. If you haven't seen Poker Face, it fucking rules. I just watch Poker Face and then I cancel Peacock. And then I'll watch it again when it comes out, and then I'll cancel Peacock. It's like a little mini Knives Out every week. Prime Video. I would say probably B. Top of B because of House. What do I watch outside of House? You know what Prime Video is good for? Is if you ever want to watch a movie that you remember from the early 2000s or the 90s that you remember liking as a kid, it always has it and you can just watch it for free. Their fucking catalog is actually shocking. The Boys? Yeah, but it's been forever. I want The Boys to come back. Yes, The Boys is good. I like watching Ricky Stenicki with Chat. But on the whole, I don't think I'm going to Prime Video. It's definitely never my first choice if I'm bored and want to watch something. Yeah, actually, fuck it. I'll put it in A only because I did just binge all the Mission Impossibles and I got them all on Prime Video for no extra charge, which is sick. I used to have to pay money for those. Sling, D. Quibi, S tier. Quibi is amazing. I can't believe. Can you guys imagine what life was like before Quibi? Isn't that weird? It's taken over our lives so much since it released. It's hard. It's like almost imagining life before phone. It's just like we love Quibi. Every day we listen to Quibi and watch Quibi. And oh, European doesn't know. Well, YouTube TV. Top of S, baby. Top of S. As I mentioned in October of 2022, I believe, in my video on Netflix, YouTube is the best streaming service. Undoubtedly. The number of people that watch YouTube over this stuff is only growing. YouTube recently passed Netflix as the number one and it continues to grow. The thing about YouTube is like 78 million hours of content is uploaded every day. Most of that's trash, but even if 1% of it is even halfway relevant to your interests, you're getting more than the entire Netflix library in like 3 days. The amount of stuff you get on YouTube, because they've crowdsourced content creation, is insane. And so you'll get infinite amount of things relevant to your exact niche interests. That's the power of YouTube. That is their value proposition. They don't have to spend $100 million on a show. I mean, for example, Netflix just spent an absurd amount of money on that 3-Body Problem show. That show's not really hitting. It's like falling out of the top 10 already. That show's not doing well. Can you imagine if they had split that money across 100,000 people making individual things? Some of those will hit. YouTube tried original programming before coming to their senses. Yeah, it doesn't work because you have to be right. TV, not premium. What I'm saying is YouTube. I'm saying YouTube is the number one streaming service. As in time spent. 3-Body Problem was really good. I appreciate what you're saying, but I heard from people that read the book that it kind of scrubs the nuance and changed some Chinese characters into white women, like a Scarlett Johansson movie. And when I say it's not hitting, it's not because I watch it, it's because it's not hitting financially. They spent a fuck ton of money on it and it's not hitting with the public. As in it's not making its money back. It was a bad investment. Yes, I do remember this. This was a big mistake. The problem is spending all the money and then trying to be right about what the audience wants. The brilliant thing about YouTube is that they don't have to be right at all. Just someone in the millions of YouTubers has to be right, and then the money automatically flows based on ad revenue to them. It's insane that Amazon Prime has to spend $100 million to get Mr. Beast to make one show for them, and YouTube gets Mr. Beast to make 1,000 shows for them for free. They have Mr. Beast putting out 100 million view video for them once a week, and all they have to pay him is a cut of what the ads already make. They profit off of it. That's such a phenomenal place to be in, and it's because there's no other user-generated video platform at scale that Mr. Beast could go to. So he can't even ask for like a contract. It's such a powerful position. Is YouTube making money or losing? They're making money now. They lost money for a long time, but YouTube is now making money. And in fact, is a growing important part of the Google business. It used to be like Google was 98% search and YouTube was like a money losing side project. But now YouTube is like the growth part of Google. If YouTube was its own company, like if you split it out and it wasn't part of Google, it would be worth somewhere between $375 and $400 billion. Somewhere around here, which, if you'll notice, is 100 billion more than Netflix, which would be their nearest competitor in streaming. YouTube is unreal in terms of the amount of viewer minutes they get watched. Isn't it like 2 billion monthly users? Yeah, it's massive. YouTube is just massive. And what's awesome for them is the growth, because the percent of people that watch YouTube as a high mix of their daily content mix or whatever goes up the younger you are. So young people fucking love YouTube. That's my final list. This is YouTube as a whole. I think this is my hours spent. More time on YouTube, then on Hulu, then on HBO, then on Netflix, then on Prime, then on Apple, then on, actually up with Disney or Apple. Yeah, this tracks with my watch habits.
Can we as consumers do any better? Hulu's ad-supported option was the most lucrative tier of their business.
You know why? I tried Hulu with ads at one point because they stuff it full of 4,000 fucking ads. I had to pay. It's ridiculous. It's overwhelming, dude. And they're long. There's just so many long, unskippable ads. It's too miserable.
Most of these companies still aren't profitable.
This is what I was talking about. That's why Netflix is the big gorilla of the world. Other than YouTube, of streaming, everyone's just dumping money on content and hoping they find an audience, but it's not working. And Netflix is the only one, even though they do shit like cancel shows too early and put out a bunch of apparent slop, they figured out how to make money off of streaming content and selling subscribers, which is rare and difficult. With all its backlog content, how is Disney losing? I mean, if Disney was just a backlog of old Disney videos and they didn't spend a lot of money, maybe they'd lose a lot less and be all right. They could eke out a little profit. But they've spent an absurd amount of money on these big, expensive Disney Plus exclusive shows that don't really hit. They've done so much Marvel shit, and all of it is, they cost so much. At best, they're not hitting like a Squid Game. Like, they don't have any fucking massive Squid Game style success. That, again, Squid Game cost 1/50th of what like Secret World cost, you know? And even Loki, like Loki's a successful show. People seem to like it, but Loki's really expensive. The return is not as great.
What does that mean for us as individuals? In researching this video, I found that there is a growing group of people that have a much more strategic approach.
Churners.
They're called serial churners. They're churning or unsubscribing and resubscribing to services based around what they want to watch in a particular month.
This is just so funny because it's so frustrating to the streaming companies. It's like, you know, they spend $100 million on a show hoping that it gets you into their larger ecosystem, and then you spend $4 on it or whatever in the trial. You binge it all in a week, and then you never. It is just completely topsy-turvy. By the way, I think this is one of the big reasons shows have pivoted. Remember when like House of Cards first dropped on Netflix and the entire show was available at once and you could just binge it? The binge model on new shows has shifted because when you do that, people do binge it and then they churn. So instead, what they like to do is spread it out over a whole season and put one episode a week. Because number one, you get people talking about it on social media, gets people into it. But also, because then that person has to stay subscribed for the whole show. They can't just fucking pound it out in one night and then never pay you again.
And then Paramount Plus and Peacock, I guess, yes, I'm a churner for those. I sign on and off.
These two, Peacock and Paramount, they have to merge. They're not big enough. They don't have the scale. This will get figured out. I don't know if it's a merger. I don't know if they're getting looped up into one of these. Individually, these are not big enough to be long-term successful streamers. They're running a deficit right now to try and make this work. It just won't work. P-mount or paracock? You think those are the two options? You think right now they're in a boardroom deciding between P-mount or paracock? Paracock, obviously, by the way. It's catchy, rolls off the tongue. Could be cock mount though. Yeah, let's not rule out cock mount plus. Put it on the board, write that down. Or mount cock. Cock mountain? There could be something there, dude.
How do you make your streaming diet work for you?
The video just needed an ending. The video wasn't a nothing video. The mid part was good. I mean, it's stuff we've already talked about, but it was good. If I paid for Spotify Prime plus 2 streaming services, I'd be spending more than I do on groceries in a fortnight. This is like a SAT question. Am I trying to find the value for X, bro? I don't.